Hello everyone, welcome to Economics by Sitaram Garg. We are starting a series of lectures on environmental economics. This is the syllabus for UGC NET paper 2 for the economics, unit number 9. This is an introduction video for the environmental economics syllabus. In this environmental economics syllabus, there are 10 topics that we are going to discuss, as well as we are completing these topics in this video. I don't know how the long video gone, but we are going to complete this video with the complete syllabus of environmental economics. As you know that environmental as a public good, this is your first topic: market failure, cost theorem, cost benefit analysis and compensation criteria, valuation of environmental goods, theories of population, concepts and measures, fertility, morbidity and mortality, age structure, demographic dividend, life table and migration. These are the 10 topics in our syllabus. So we are beginning with our first topic of the environmental economics. So we begin with our first syllabus, first topic of the environmental economics. You can also make notes. We are making first of all we discuss about the environmental economics. What is the environmental economics? Environmental economics, it is the subset of economics. It is the subset of economics which deals with the integration of economics which deals with the integration of economics and ecology it is the subset. What is the subset? Subset means it is used in mathematics that this is A set, this is B. So B is the subset of A. In the same way, environmental economics is the subject of economics which deals with economics as well as ecology. So now it is also related with welfare economics. Which focuses, जो वेलफेयर इकोनॉमिक्स है वो क्या फोकस करता है? वो फोकस करता है आपका दिस फोकसेज ऑन योर efficient allocation, second optimal pricing, economic efficiency, consumer surplus, plus, and last, equity. Environmental economics also works as bridge. Environmental economics work as a bridge. This is environmental economics. It works as a bridge. The gap between two diverse fields. This is your economics and this is your ecology. So it fulfills the gap between the ecology and economics. Second point, it assesses the interrelationship between two concepts. What were these? Are economic agent and environmental components. It applies the principle of economics. Environmental economics is also a subset of economics, so it applies the principles of economics. Principles of economics for what? To solve the environmental issues. To solve the environmental issues. Then, what are the principles of economics? The law of supply and demand. To minimize the impact. What impact? Impact of human economy on the economic system. Human economy on the ecosystems. So we can also say that say as that this is our environment. This is your economy. And this one is your society. So, how environmental economics helps? It helps in how it helps. It helps in regulating economic activity so that there should be a balance. There should be a balance among environmental economy and your social goods. So it helps in regulating economic activity to making the balance between environment, economy and social goods. How environment economics and what they are doing to analyze. As you know that in economics we are analyzing something. So in the same way, environmental economics analyze various trade-offs. Environmental economics analyze your various trade-offs of environmental issues, and usage of economic basics for addressing pollution problem. What is the main problem? What are the main issue of environmental economics? That is a pollution. Pollution problems and policy alternatives. As we from starting we are discussing, there are some of the environmental goods. What are the environmental goods? Environmental goods are the public goods. Environmental goods are the public goods. What are the characteristics of public goods? Public goods are non-rival as well as non-excludable. What I say? Non-rival in nature and non-excludable in nature. So this is the environmental economics that we are discussing. This is our first phase, and this is how environmental economics as a public good. So to summarize this concept, what is this? What is this? This is the environmental economics. It is a subset of economics which deals with the integration of economics and ecology. Environmental goods related with welfare economics, which focuses on some of the concepts: efficient allocation, optimal pricing, economic efficiency, consumer surplus and equity. Now, how environmental economics works as a bridge? It reduces the gap between economics and ecology. It helps in making the interrelationship between the economic agents and environmental components. As environmental economics uses the principle of economics to solve the environmental issues and to minimize the impact of human economy on the ecosystems. Also, environmental economics helps in regulating economic activity, environment, and it makes the balance between environment, economy and social goods. Now, what environmental economics analyze? Environmental economics analyze various trade-offs of environmental issues and usage of economic basics for addressing pollution problems and policy alternatives. And the last what we discussed that environmental good as a public good. As they are the characteristics of public good, that this is non-rival in nature as well as non-excludable in nature. So I think you get all those points. If there is any problem, if there is any sum of doubts, you can comment on this comment in the video. I will helpful. I will give you a solution as I discussed with you. So let's begin with our second topic of environmental economics, that is the cost theorem. So let's begin our second topic of this lecture. In this video, we are discussing about our next concept, that is the Cauchy theorem. What is Cauchy theorem? Who will develop? This has been developed by Ronald Cauchy. And Cauchy theorem क्या है? ये थ्योरम क्या बताती है? Cauchy theorem is a legal and economic agreement with no transactions cost. With no transaction cost. Second, Cauchy theorem is work as an efficient Cauchy theorem is an efficient set of inputs and outputs to and from the production optimal distribution. Next, what the theorem states, the theorem states that under ideal economic conditions, where what are the ideal economic conditions? Where there is a conflict of property rights एंड द इन्वॉल्व पार्टी, जो इस कन्फ्लिक्ट में इन्वॉल्व है वो पार्टी क्या कहती है? वो कहती है बार्गेन एंड नेगोशिएट टर्म्स. क्या करती है? वो बार्गेन कर रही है और नेगोशिएट कर रहा है. That will accurately reflect. अब ये क्या रिफ्लेक्ट कर रहा है? That will accurately reflect what? It reflect the full costs and underlying values, जो इसकी वैल्यूज हैं. Of the property right and issues. जब भी ये ऐसी कंडीशंस आती हैं तो हम वहाँ पे क्या अज्यूम करके चलते हैं? दीज आर एफिशिएंट. व्हाट वी अज्यूम? दीज आर एफिशिएंट इन नेचर. ये किसका एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं? एनालिसिस ऑफ एफिशिएंट. Now what is the Cauchy theorem? What Cauchy theorem discuss about? The Cauchy theorem discuss about property rights to different individuals and companies for two different parties. So the problem of externalities can be solved. The externalities fixes the economy because the lack of clearly define the property rights. No one can know about the property rights. What are the property rights? That if I am using this garden, what are my rights? This is a public good, but I am using. But what are my property rights? May I use as my own goods? No, this is a public good. So there is no definition of property rights. What are the property rights underlying with me and underlying with that company, that they are polluting the environment, like water pollution, air pollution and deforestations. So Coase theorem is asking about the property rights. ये किसके बारे में पूछता है? property rights के बारे में. Coase theorem is basically giving the, अब मेन क्या है? Coase theorem हमें ये बताता है कि क्या कंपनसेशन दिया जाएगा, किसमें? मॉनेटरी टर्म्स में, मॉनेटरी कंपनसेशन टू द अफेक्टेड पार्टी, जो उससे अफेक्ट हो रही है उस पार्टी को क्या मॉनेटरी कंपनसेशन दिया जाएगा, वो बताता है हमें कौन? Coase theorem बताता है. So what are the main problem of environmental goods? That they are the common property. As this garden is, I can also use, you can also use, they can also use. So this is the common resource. What? This is the common property, or we can say that this is the common resource, so that the property rights are not clearly defined. So in this video what we get, that the Coase theorem has been given by the Ronald Coase. This is the legal and economic agreement with no transactions cost, and it is the Coase theorem is an efficient set of the inputs and outputs to and from the production of optimal distribution under the ideal conditions of economic. What are the ideal conditions? When there is the conflict between two parties related to the common property or the common resource, and from one party there is the negative externalities from the usage of that common property. So for this it gives the monetary compensation to the affected parties. What is the main issue under the environmental goods? That this is a common resource and no one can define the what are the property rights. So I think you get this concept of Coase theorem. This is a short and so simple that we can grasp its main concepts, what the Coase theorem is dealing with. These are dealing with the property rights, as well as these are dealing with the no transactions cost of the economic agreement. What it gives the monetary compensation to the affected parties. Okay, you get my point? Let's begin our next topic. So our next topic will be hedonic price. Now our next topic in this series of lecture is hedonic price. This is another concept of environmental economics that we are discussing about the hedonic price. Who will give this? This is given by, ये किसने दिया था? ये आपके दिया था सर्विन रोजन ने कब? 1974 में कहाँ पे दिया था? अपने उसके खुद के पेपर में, जिसका नाम था, पेपर का क्या नाम था? प्राइसेज आर implicit markets product differentiation pure competition. This is the paper name of the Servin Rosen. Production differentiation and pure competition. Production differentiation and pure competition. This is the name of the paper when he will give in 1974. This is the model. हेडोनिक प्राइस क्या है हमारा? एक मॉडल है दिस इज ए मॉडल हेडोनिक प्राइस. व्हाट इट विल डू? इट आइडेंटिफाइज the price factors according to the premise कि आपका कैसा premises है. premise that price is determined both. अब ये आपका premise का जो cost या आपका क्या बताता है, ये आपकी कि क्या प्राइस डिटरमाइन होगा. तो इसका जो प्राइस होगा वो आपका डिटरमाइन होगा, प्राइस इज डिटरमाइंड बाय बोथ इसकी इंटरनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स के ऊपर एज वेल एज इट्स एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स दैट अफेक्टेड. सो इट्स प्राइस हैज बीन डिटरमाइंड बाय बोथ internal factors as well as the external factors of that price. This is model that identifies the price factors of the premise to determine their price. It is based on two factors, whether it on both on internal factors as well as and external factors. Whenever when this model has been used, it has been used to estimate. क्या एस्टिमेट करने के लिए किया जाता है? क्वालिटेटिव या क्वांटिटेटिव. प्राइस क्या होता है हमारा? क्वांटिटेटिव होता है. तो हमें क्या बताता है? क्वांटिटेटिव वैल्यूज के बारे में बताता है. क्वांटिटेटिव वैल्यूज फॉर व्हाट? एज वी आर डिस्कसिंग अबाउट एनवायरमेंटल इकोनॉमिक्स, सो दीज आर दिस एनवायरमेंटल वैल्यूज किसकी बताएगा? ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल. जो कि डायरेक्टली इफेक्ट किया जा रहा है, that is directly affected the prices for home. Prices of the prices. What are the most common example of the common of hedonic price where it has been used? It has been used in the housing market. It's the common example where the hedonic price, where हाउसिंग मार्केट्स में जो भी आपके प्रेमाइस का जो भी प्राइस डिटरमाइन होता है वो दो फैक्टर्स पे बेस होता है. एक आपकी इंटरनल फैक्टर्स एंड सेकेंड योर एक्सटर्नल फैक्टर्स. सो इट्स कॉमन एग्जांपल हाउसिंग मार्केट. बट द प्राइस इज बीन डिटरमाइंड बाय द साइज, कि कितना साइज है उसका, उसका अपीयरेंस कैसा है, हाउ इज इट लुकिंग, एंड इट्स फीचर्स, कि इसमें क्या क्या फीचर्स. इफ़ इट देयर लाइक स्विमिंग पूल है, आपका एक गार्डन है, नियर बाई कोई पब्लिक प्लेस है, सो इट विल आल्सो डिटरमाइन देयर प्राइस. इट आल्सो अफेक्ट्स देयर प्राइस. दिस इज द हेडोनिक प्राइस. This is the another concept that we have completed in this series of environmental economics. This is the hedonic price. It has been given by the Servin Rosen in 1974 in his paper Prices are Implicit Market, Production Differentiation and Pure Competition. This is a model that identifies the price factors of the premise. The price factor of the premise has been determined by both factors, internal factors as well as external factors. It is used to estimate the quantitative value, but the price is a quantitative, not a qualitative. So it determines the quantitative values of environment that has been directly affected the prices of premise. So what are the common examples where the hedonic price has been used? It has been used in the housing market. There are some of the factors that also affect the price. Its size, what is the size of your premise, what's it looks appear, what are their features, what are the common things, that what are the some of the things that are useful and that are not useful. If there is any company that are polluting more, so the prices of that premise has been declined. If there is a nearby school, as well as there is a public under, as well as there is a swimming pool, as well as some of environmental related goods that are helpful to those people, so the prices of that premise has been increasing. If nearby there is a good market, so it has also increased their prices. So I think you get this concept of the hedonic price. Now we will continue our next concepts of environmental economics. Now we will discuss about cost benefit analysis. This is the next topic. So before starting, you may take the break. After some break, we can continue. Hello, welcome to Economics by Sitaram Garg. As we have discussed that in the environmental economics syllabus, we are completing the whole syllabus with unit wise. So we have completed environment as a public good, cost theorem, as well as hedonic price. Now we are going to discuss about the cost benefit analysis, which has been founded from the Hicks-Gardner criteria of efficiency maximization in 1939. What does it say? It says that a project merits remains desirable. कब तक हमें वो प्रोजेक्ट चाहिए? जब उसका टोटल बेनिफिट इज ग्रेटर देन द टोटल कॉस्ट। मीन्स हम कभी भी किसी प्रोजेक्ट को क्यों लेंगे? ताकि हमें उससे बेनिफिट मिले। जस्ट फॉर एग्जांपल, इट्स 200 बेनिफिट एंड 100 कॉस्ट, सो वी कैन कंटिन्यू विद दिस प्रोजेक्ट till we will continue. But if this is 80 and this is 100, then we will not continue with this criteria. So cost benefit analysis is a well applied technique for judging an acceptability of certain development projects. What are the acceptance whose implementation has negative and significant impact on the environment? Now what is the cost benefit analysis? It states that if the benefit arrived from the pollution elimination program, what I mentioned here, pollution elimination program. This one is a program, is greater than the benefit received from it. It is called positive benefit. What we call it as a positive benefit. Now what's our next point? Our next point is that the benefit, the tool generally undertaken by the government. Who will use the cost benefit analysis? For a common people can also use their cost benefit analysis. If we are doing some business or some of the things, if the benefit is greater than cost, then we can continue our project. If benefit is equal to cost, then we will can also continue. But if the benefit is less than the cost, means that loss is greater than benefit, so we will stop or we may discontinue that projects. So in the government, what this cost benefit analysis is a tool that has been used by the government for the welfare of entire society. As we know that government use SEBI analysis for the welfare of the society. Now our next is that what are the environmental benefits? How can we measure the environmental benefits? So let's begin up with next of the point. I'm just erasing this. Please note down. Environmental benefits which can be measured by the value of lost environment gain. How can we measure benefits? Then how can we measure cost? There are the two questions in our mind, that how can we measure environmental benefits and how can we measure the environmental costs. So for that, environmental benefits can be measured as the value of lost environmental gain if the project is not pursued. Or symmetrically we can say that the value of environmental benefit, अब आ रहा है value of environmental benefit, ये है lost value of environmental benefit if the project has been implemented. Now, what are the measurement of environmental cost? How can we measure the environmental cost? We can measure environmental cost as this can be not as BN, this can be noted as CN. Okay, cost analysis. So BN always be greater than CN, then we can continue a project. What are the steps? That we use for C/B analysis? It can be also known as C/B analysis, cost benefit analysis. It describes how can we describe the benefit and cost in quantitative. First step क्या है? Quantitative. And what we are doing here? We are doing comparison of benefit and this. Then we can find whether it is greater, whether it is less. Then we can compare. After that, we get describe its quantitatively inputs and output of that program or project. It may be project, it may be program. Got it? This is all about the cost benefit analysis. As per the Kaldor-Hicks criteria, what this states that a project merits remains desirable whenever total benefit is greater than total cost. In the same way, we can measure benefit by BN and CN. The value of cost, loss of environmental gain. Then whenever the project is not implemented, whenever the project has been implemented, that the value of environmental benefit is taken. Now, what are the steps for C/B analysis? These are the quantitative in nature. Then we can compare. Then we get whether we are going to for benefit and we are getting cost. If we are getting the benefit, then we can go for project. If we are getting the cost, then we will not continue our project or program. This is all about the cost benefit analysis. Now, our next topic that we are discussing, next topic that we have to discuss is the Malthusian theory of population. But we discuss Malthusian theory of population. So just continuing with Malthusian As the name suggests, we will give this has been given by Robert Malthus, theory of population. Who will give? Thomas Robert Malthus in 1798. What are their views? What his views on the theory of population? Well, he will give in the book, in his book. Name of the book is the Essay on the Principle of Population. As per the Malthusian theory of population, it is the theory of population which has been given by the Thomas Robert Malthus in 1798 in his famous book Essay on the Principle of Population. What was that? Malthus का एक ऑब्जेक्शन था कि द प्रेशर ऑफ इंक्रीजिंग पॉपुलेशन, जैसे जैसे हमारी पॉपुलेशन डे बाय डे इंक्रीज हो रही है, देन इट्स प्रेशर इज इंक्रीजिंग ऑफ पॉपुलेशन. किस पे प्रेशर इंक्रीज हो रहा है? ओवर फूड सप्लाई. जैसे जैसे पॉपुलेशन इंक्रीज होगी तो डिमांड फॉर फूड सप्लाई is also increasing. So food supply may destroy the perfection and there would be a misery in the world. What is its conclusion? Its conclusion is the misery in the world. Malthus revolted against the prevailing optimism shared by his father and Godwin that a perfect state could be attained if human restraints could be removed. What could be removed? If human restraints could be removed. What the Malthusian doctrine states that What does the Malthusian doctrine states that? It states that, now we will discuss about its doctrine. What states? It states that the population is increasing in geometrical progression, means GP. When in 25 years. Second point, where the food supply भी increase होता है, but in arithmetic progression due to the law of diminishing marginal utility. Marginal returns कहते हैं, marginal returns. Supply of land, where the food has been produced and the land is limited and scarce. The overpopulation is resulting from the imbalance. If the population is increasing, here is the food supply. If the population is increasing day by day, means there is an overpopulation. So how can we? He states there are two checks. What are the checks? Preventive checks, positive checks. What are these checks? Preventive checks applied by men. प्रिवेंटिव मतलब जो प्रिवेंट कर सकता है पीपल, लाइक लेट मैरिज करके ही कैन कंट्रोल द पॉपुलेशन, और यूजिंग द बर्थ कंट्रोल लाइक moral restraints के कारण. Where is the positive checks like flood आ गया, कोई जैसे COVID-19 आ गया, there is a large number of death and so many wars हो गए etc. These are the positive checks and these are the preventive checks. After this, there must be a balance between the population and food supply. I think you get that point. So, Malthusian population, the theory of Malthusian population has been given by the Thomas Robert Malthus in 1798 in his famous book Essay on the Principle of Population. What he states that the increasing population का जो प्रेशर है वो फूड सप्लाई पे पड़ता है. उसने अपनी डॉक्ट्राइन में बताया कि जो पॉपुलेशन है वो हर 25 साल में बढ़ती है, लेकिन उसके बढ़ने का जो रेट है वो ज्योमेट्रिक प्रोग्रेशन में है. वेयर जो फूड सप्लाई है वो भी इंक्रीज होता है, लेकिन वो अर्थमेटिक प्रोग्रेशन में, जो कि बहुत स्लोली रेट से इंक्रीज होता है, क्योंकि लैंड जो है वो हमारा क्या है, स्कैर्स रिसोर्सेज है. नाउ for that overpopulation he mentioned two checks. One is preventive and second is positive checks. Preventive checks that a man can control the population by doing late marriage, and positive checks are those flood, COVID-19 and war etc. So that there is a large number of deaths, so that the population can be controlled and can be minimized, so that the population and food supply may be balanced. So this is all about the Malthusian theory of population. I think you got this point.